Hi everyone and welcome to One Autistic Person. This video is going to be looking at Christmas. So I have mixed feelings about Christmas as an autistic person. I really love the concept. I love the idea of everybody coming together and everybody enjoying time together. As much as I have my social issues, I love the idea of it. But one of the things that I think is a bit of a problem is that there is a lot of forced tradition. There's a lot of forced expectation to enjoy things the way that they are. And I just want to go through the things that I have challenges with, but also the things that I enjoy about Christmas, to sort of give my personal experience of things. As with everything with this channel, it's always my personal experience. But one of the things that I wanted to do with this is sort of to show that it doesn't mean that, because I think what quite often happens is that autistic people say, I don't like this and I don't like that about Christmas, but we forget to talk about the things we do like about it. And then it can, and also we don't necessarily go, let's have a look at different options, let's just stop it, or people feel like it's saying we just don't want to do this. But there are other ways of doing things, there are ways of finding new traditions, and I just think there's sometimes a little bit of, I want to say animosity, but I don't think that's the correct way of putting it. I think especially parents kind of struggle with their autistic children at times, with the fact that they see it that I enjoyed this as a child and I want my child to enjoy this, and it's great if they do start enjoying it, but we shouldn't really feel like we have to force people into enjoying a Christmas situation. Children enjoy Christmas because of the fact that they enjoy Christmas. If they enjoy it, great, whether they're autistic or they're neurotypical. Them enjoying it, that's great. But if your child does have sensory issues or does have issues generally around Christmas, then making some adaptations is probably a good thing, and that goes sort of at any age, not just as children, but it might be that your older child that is autistic may really not be enjoying it and might actually sort of have some issues that they would like to share and sort of go, let's do things in a different way. And that's kind of what I want to explore in this video a little bit. I apologise if I'm a little bit all over the place in this video. I've just started taking a different medication and it's given me vertigo, which is a really interesting condition to have that I've never had before. That basically I just thought it meant you're dizzy, which it is. I feel very dizzy. I feel like my head's over there somewhere. But at the same time, I can get issues with memory, and I may repeat things, or I may struggle to find the words for things throughout this video. So I apologise if that is the case. So let's have a look at. So the way I've done this is that I have looked at it as a naughty and nice list. So naughty are the things that I find challenging, and nice are the things that I enjoy doing and don't find as challenging, or things that make Christmas good for me. So let's have a look at, first of all, at my naughty list. So the first thing for me is presents. I just find them really complicated. I find finding presents for people complicated without having a full list of what somebody would want. Even a list is a problem. Just tell me what you want, and I'll get you. Just say one thing. The one thing that you want me to get for you, I'll get for you. I really struggle understanding what people will like and what they won't like, and I get crippled by the decision making, and there's a PDA response to it as well, a pathological demand avoidance situation to it, where it's kind of like I feel like I have to do it, so therefore I struggle doing it, even though I like the idea of giving somebody a present. I love seeing somebody open a present that I've got them and them like it. So that's really that's great, that I love that, but actually doing it feels like a demand, and I don't mean it in a demand that you're demanding it from me. It just feels like it's something I've got to do and got to go and find, and there's a lot of steps involved in that. But I actually struggle more receiving presents than I do on the giving present side of it. So if I've got the fact that I know what you want, I'll buy you it, and I'll make sure that you have it. The receiving presents is really, really difficult. So for two reasons. One, if I like it, I quite often get told that I looked like I didn't like it. So there's that issue. I quite often am misread as not really, because I don't know how much I'm supposed to show that I like it. I feel like I'm either going overboard with it and showing that making it look like I don't like it, and pretending that I do like it. It's the whole thing that a lot of autistic people have is, am I doing enough or doing too little of something? So am I being over the top? So then I try to bring it down and not be over the top and seem like I'm being fake. And then, but then I'm worried that I'm not doing enough and that it's going to seem like I don't like it. So there's a lot of stuff going on in my head around it. And the reason why this is more of a problem, so if somebody gives me a present and I open it later, or I open it on my own, even if it's not later, but as I can open it without people watching me, then I don't think that when I go and say thank you to it, it seems so disingenuous, because it's a one-on-one conversation with somebody to say thank you for it. It's the going round in a circle. I don't know whether everybody's family does this. I'm pretty sure not everybody's family does it. I'm sure everybody does it differently. But the going round in a circle and opening presents and everybody watching you as you do it, I feel like there's so much pressure on me to show gratitude, but I don't want to seem fake. So it's the all eyes on me, so for a reason. So why do we need to go around in a group? If you do that, you sort of ask whether somebody doesn't want to, and if they don't want to, then let them go and open the presents elsewhere and then say thank you for it, or they'll open the presents later, or whatever it is. Just give them that option. Give people the option to whether they want to open it in front of everybody, because I feel like I was forced to do it a lot when I was younger, and then quite often I was told, say thank you to this person, and it's like I had said thank you, but it's like I hadn't said enough of a thank you, or I thought I'd said thank you, and too complicated. Paper sensory wise is a bit of a problem. So certain papers, wrapping papers, I can have issues with, from the way it looks to the way that it feels in my hands. Tape, when it attaches itself to me, that's terrible. It's awful. I have an issue with the wastefulness of it all when it comes to paper. So yeah, I can see the mountain growing, and I'm like, oh my god, that's stuff that's going to go to landfill, because you can't, unless you're going to take all of the sellotape off each bit of it, which in itself is terrible and horrible thing to have to do. The actual ripping noise can be frustrating for me. I really don't like foil paper, the way that feels, and even the way it looks. The quite often the way it looks on it makes me feel quite nauseous. It kind of sets off a very similar to trypophobia feeling. There are other options to wrapping paper. You've obviously got bags that you can use. You've got gift bags. They're reusable as well, but also you don't have to rip the paper off. And it's just a much more, to me, having something in a bag is a much more, it just feels much more of a pleasant way of doing it. You're still hiding it, because you can close the top up, staple it. Please don't sellotape it. But if you, and then you can pull it open and use it. I know that makes it a little less usable again afterwards, but you can still use it. Or if there's a tie bow on it, there's ones that have tie bow bits on it. Those are great. So anything like that, for me personally, much better from a wastefulness perspective, but also from a sensory perspective. Then comes the dinner. I like very little on a Christmas dinner, yet I have pretended that I like a lot on a Christmas dinner for a long time, because I have felt like it's this dinner that is so special and it's so important, and you should like it. And there's so many issues. I'm not going to go through absolutely everything. The one thing I love is Brussels sprouts. I absolutely love Brussels sprouts. I can eat a bowl of Brussels sprouts. It's absolutely amazing. I know that is a really strange one out of everything to have, but give me a bowl of Brussels sprouts and I'd be happy. But the rest of it, so the turkey, I'm not going to go through, like I say, not going to go through everything, but the turkey can either be it can be overcooked, undercooked, for me personally, that you can put things with it and it doesn't taste as nice, and it just, I panic about it, because and the texture of it is either too tough, or it's too moist, or there's too many different potential issues that come with it. Oh, there's my cat. There's too many potential issues that just come with turkey alone, and then when you go down the route of all of the different things that are there's so many different tastes and so many different textures, and there's so many overwhelming smells, that actually the dinner is really difficult for me from an eating perspective, but also from a talking perspective. Having to go round the table and talk, I don't particularly like talking and eating at the same time anyway. I have this struggle generally. Go on, get down, sweetheart. Brain's gone all over the place because of the cat. So yes, so the talking, and eating at the same time, major issue for me. And having to have conversations with people that I haven't had conversations with for ages. I don't like eating in front of too many people as well. And I'm eating stuff that I don't particularly like, so I often get a smaller amount of everything, and then everybody goes, "Oh, is everything okay? I should have some more?" And then people, your uncle ends up chucking a load of extra stuff on your plate without asking, "Oh, you'll never grow up to a big guy." Well, all that rubbish. So this massive forced stuff that's coming with it, for me, allow somebody to have whatever it is. For me, I could have that bowl of Brussels sprouts. Give me the bowl of Brussels sprouts. Probably going to want to move away from everybody after that situation anyway. But if somebody wants chicken nuggets, allow them to have chicken nuggets. It's just food. It's not. It really doesn't matter if you want them to sit around the table. Kind of allow them to, but allow them the space to be able to leave the table as well. Don't sort of beholden somebody to staying at the table, because that was the other thing. I felt like I wasn't able to move. I wasn't able to leave this big important Christmas dinner table. And another thing that's on the table is crackers. I have issues with crackers. The social convention of crackers, I know that seems weird that there is a social convention, but there is. You kind of have to only win one, whereas my brain just automatically goes, it's a game. I should win them all. And I think everybody knows how to hold a cracker to be able to win. So if you do it and then the other person thinks you're not going to do it because you've already won, and then you've got to wear the stupid hat, which is always so annoying. They're fun, don't get me wrong, the hats are fun, but it's so annoying on my head, and I was forced to wear it when I was a kid. And then there's the not funny jokes, which everyone else kind of laughs at, and I'm kind of like, I don't, even though you're supposed to kind of get it, I just don't get it. I know they're not supposed to be funny, I know they're supposed to be tongue-in-cheek, but I still am just like, ugh, I can't be bothered with this. And the crack itself, the actual noise, really don't like it. With those, I've made crackers that aren't really crackers, that they're made out of like a toilet roll tube type situation. And instead, and what I've done in there is put facts in it or something. I know that sounds probably really boring, but for me, I love it. But I did it when I created crackers for everybody that didn't crack, by the way. There was no cracking, you just unwrapped them. That I put it with each person's place where they were, and it had something that they were interested in as both a tiny little gift that was something that was related to them, and a fact that was of interest to them. That was what everybody had, and everybody seemed to like it. I don't know whether they really did. Then you've got the later on after that, playing games, which is great. I love playing board games. I absolutely love playing games, but I have to understand the rules and I have to know that everybody else understands the rules. It really frustrates me when people play games and don't stick to the rules that of the game. And Monopoly is a perfect example of this. Everybody has their different house rules depending on the way they play it. And quite often start playing Monopoly and then it gets into a conversation halfway through the game of whether you can do anything when you land on free parking, or do you get £400 when you go past go. Sorry, when you land on go rather than when you pass it. There's so many different house rules and everything. Establish the rules at the beginning of the game. We understand that this is how you play it, so everybody knows. And not just that, stick to it, because I've had it where you're halfway through a game or something, then you decide because it's more suitable that you play it based on other rules, so it's more suitable to the game for you to do that. No, stick to rules. I think this kind of comes more from an ADHD perspective, but being expected to remember to help with the washing up and tidying up. I just don't think about it when I'm in somebody else's house. Actually, that's not necessarily true. If I'm trying to get out of the social interaction, so if there's a lot of social chit-chat going on, I will actually use doing the washing up and things like that at Christmas to get away from it and do it. But I won't necessarily remember to do it unless it's a way of me getting out of the social situation. So with that, just sort of establish, for me it is a matter of establishing right at the beginning what it is that who's going to be doing the washing up, who's going to be doing the tidying, who's going to be doing this, allocate it fairly to everybody and go from there. And then sort of on the food side of things again, is that it's like I really don't like the food. So when I get given a massive Tupperware box full of every type of food that's there that will last for days and days and days afterwards, I don't really want it. And I've the last few years I've actually said I don't want it because I'm not going to eat it, and I just end up wasting it, which is a big problem for me, wasting food. So yeah, not going to not going to do that anymore. But it's kind of an understanding of the fact that you don't need somebody to take food if they don't want to eat it. They're not going to eat it. You're just basically telling them to go and put it in their bin. So what's the point in telling them to take leftovers if they're not going to eat those leftovers? Just generally being forced to be in the presence of people I don't usually communicate with. I've kind of already touched on that already anyway. Having forced conversations with people that I don't usually communicate with is hugely challenging for me. So it's kind of establishing the fact that I may need to, from my perspective, or the autistic person in your life at Christmas may need to go and have some time alone with themselves, and not be interrupted. So given space, if they've got that space, or allowed to go for a walk without being made to feel guilty about it or anything like that. And allowing them that space, and it's not rude. But also, if somebody wants to go home, if they've had enough, let them go home. It's not a reflection on them liking anybody or disliking anybody. It's just the fact that they're probably in a sensory overload situation and just need to go home. They're not being rude. I can assure you, most of the time we want to actually stay in that situation. It's just we cannot stay in that situation. And then this one's a real personal one for me, I suppose, but I think probably people do get frustrated with this from a sensory perspective. I have a neighbour, which I can see out of my window here right now, and he has a whole house full of Christmas lights at the front. It is... Honestly, he must have tens of thousands of Christmas lights outside. There's flashing Santas. There's flashing lights on the front of his house. I think it's meant to be a big green Christmas tree. It's just a lot of green lights that looks more like a lump than a Christmas tree, but it lights up the whole of my kitchen and my dining room. So it's not good that's from an annoying perspective. And then obviously I have a major issue around it from the energy usage of that. It's his bill, he can do what he wants, but when it comes to money, but when it comes to the environment, just think about it from that perspective. But also from a sensory perspective, other people can really struggle with that amount of light and flashing, and it's just not very good for sensory situations. Not really much you can do about it. If people choose to do that, they choose to do it. But just be aware, I suppose, of the fact that it could have sensory issues for people. So now I'm going to have a look at my nice list. So the things that I actually enjoy about Christmas. So the first thing on my nice list is the tree and the lights. There is a bit of an addendum to this, and that is that as long as I can have different settings on the lights. So my Christmas tree is it's a fake Christmas tree, an artificial one, I suppose, that is green, but then has like snowy bits on the ends. But then my lights, I have them in a circle. I have two sets of lights, and they go in a spiral, like a helix around. No, sorry, it is a spiral. Yeah, it would be a spiral, not a helix. Yeah, because it gets smaller as it goes up. So it's in a spiral, which I can then set it on, so it looks like it's going up and back down, and then up and then back down, and then there's other ones. So I've got about 8 settings on it. There's 24 settings on it, but there's 8 settings that I really like. I don't like the fast ones. So I have a really good sensory experience from that. And then the baubles lighting up as it goes around. So yeah, there is really good potential sensory regulation that can come with Christmas trees and lights. People can get overwhelmed by them and not actually like them, and it can be a sensory problem for them. So I'm, as with everything with this channel, it is my own experience of it, but I think if you can get it right, then it can be really good for your senses. So I listen to songs repetitively all the time anyway, but at Christmas I can listen to songs that I enjoy. I enjoy so many different Christmas songs that I can listen to them repetitively, and people not get annoyed by it because they're listening to them repetitively because it's Christmas and you're allowed to listen to things repetitively. So I really feel that's a really good thing. So I really enjoy the fact that I'm able to listen to Christmas songs over and over again. Mince pies. So when I said that I could eat a bowl of sprouts, so for me the two best things about Christmas are Brussels sprouts and mince pies. So I could have a Christmas dinner of Brussels sprouts and mince pies. Not sure how I'd eat them, whether I'd eat them together. I'm not sure I'd eat them together, but maybe have a bowl of Brussels sprouts for my main course, and for dessert have a whole 20 pile in this form of a Christmas tree mince pies. And I like every type of mince pie. I like ones that have got the short crust pastry, that have got puff pastry, that have got marzipan, that have got icing on the top. Basically, any version of a mince pie. Oh, I love a mince tart as well. So having a minced pie tart, so just without the top. Oh, absolute heaven, because it glazes and it feels, oh yeah, lovely. So I absolutely hate Christmas pudding and Christmas cake. I know they're very similar contents that are in them, but I really don't like the textures of either of those two things. But mince pie is absolutely fantastic. My point there isn't necessarily on mince pies. My point there is that I'm talking about specific foods that I like, which are related to Christmas, but that so I could eat, be happy with it, and not be forced into eating anything else. So my point is that if people like something, allow them to eat loads of that over Christmas. The whole point is indulgence. So let somebody, if they want to indulge in one thing, and that is just mince pies, allow them to indulge in it, because they'll be really happy by the end of it. Maybe a bit gassy and feel a bit sick, and maybe have put on some weight, but then doesn't everybody over Christmas? This is another repetitive one. Watching Muppets Christmas Carol at least 10 times over the period. Actually, no, 12 times, because I watch it from the from the 12th. So actually, that's today of me recording this. The 12th of December up to the 24th of December. I watch it every single day, at least once, but I can watch it a few times if I'm able to. But I've watched it so far. I've already watched it three times this year. And now I'll watch it 12 times up to Christmas. And I know that word for word. That film I know word for word. When I was a kid, I didn't just watch it at Christmas. I used to watch it at least once a week. I know every single word in it, every single word to the songs, every single word to what they're saying. I will basically talk it out and sing it out the whole way through it. Absolutely love that film, and it's similar to The Wizard of Oz. I can do The Wizard of Oz. I can quote that from word for word as well. But that was a daily occurrence. It was The Wizard of Oz and Return to Oz. So anyway, Christmas Carol, definitely a major thing that I love about Christmas. My unicorn onesie that is too small for me, and my flashing shoes that are too big for me. They make me very, very happy. I've only had those for the last 3 years, but I saw the unicorn. So when I say unicorn, what it is Santa riding a unicorn over a rainbow all over the onesie. But the thing I love about it more than anything else is the fact that it was a second. So where I used to work, it was a charity. As I've said before, I've worked for charity for some time, and we bought these onesies as part of a Christmas New Goods thing that we did. But they were seconds, so they were. Half of the material was put on the wrong way, so the machine had done it incorrectly. So I've got one side with all the Santas and the unicorns upside down, and half the side, the other side, that they're all the right way up. And I love the fact that that's the case. Also, when I say it's too small for me, it was an extra large children's one. So it is just too small for me. It comes up to like the top of my ankles rather than being big enough for me to wear. And then there's a pair of bright gold shoes, like really shiny gold shoes that has lights around the bottom of them. That's what I wear on Christmas Day. I think that's going to be what I wear on Christmas Day for the rest of my life now. I think I'll be devastated if anything ever happens to either of them, so that I can't use them. But yeah, that's my there's something that I love. And then the one thing that I really, really do love is if I'm given carte blanche. This happens very rarely. It happened the last time it happened was about 10 years ago. I had a terrible year, and my mum said, you do what you want for Christmas, as in decorate her house. So I like it, when I'm decorating for Christmas, I like it to be isolated to one room and one area of the room. So my mum had I don't know what my brain is doing here. What is that? A fireplace. It's quite a traditional looking fireplace, and a Christmas tree was there, and so I isolated it to Christmas tree next to it, to there at the end of the fireplace. That was it. That was where Christmas was. Christmas stayed there, but it was over the top, and it was traditional but cool, but not with loads of colours. It had her great Christmas tree that I love, which is brown, with it's brown artificial Christmas tree with orange decorations. So it's a chocolate orange tree, and then so yeah, very confined, but looking very cool. But I was also given I was allowed to make all the decorations for the dinner table, and I went for my blue and silver theme, which is the colour of my Christmas tree now. And I the whole of it, how I fit everything on that table, I don't know. If I can find a picture of it, I will put it over what I'm saying now, so you can see what that table looked like. There were jars full of beads and lights, and I made placemats out of records that I sprayed silver, and everybody had a place card. That was the year that I had that we'd made I think it was the year that I made the crackers. I think the ones I was saying about before, where it had a different thing in each one of them. For each person, everybody had a different place setting that I created that had a different thing about each one of them. I'd put a little tag, present tag on each one of the person's each person's place, and just sort of giving them a little message to say thank you, or for what they've done for me throughout the year or whatever. But there was a lot of glitter, and I even made out of what was a ghost house, a doll's ghost house. I'd created that and made it so it was silver and blue, and my mum made little chocolate cakes with glacier cherries on the top, and we'd put that inside the doll's house that I created to look like a Christmas fairy tale castle. I'm really hoping that I can find pictures, because I think I've got pictures of the fairy tale castle as well with the chocolate cakes in it somewhere. I don't use Facebook anymore, and I know they were all on Facebook, but I'm pretty sure that I downloaded them onto my phone before I left, because it was, like I said, it was about 10 years ago. So that is my nice list, and that's my naughty and nice list, and some sort of explanations here. So that my point with that is, if you're allowing somebody to be able to, who is autistic, to be able to have control over what that Christmas will look like, they'll feel so much more involved in it. And I enjoyed that Christmas so much because of the fact that I had input into it in a way that made people feel like they came together. And we can be extremely thoughtful, but we don't necessarily look at traditions as they've been. We might look at the way something can become a tradition, but just allow people. My end point here is, speak to the people around you that have autism, and are they enjoying Christmas, and is there anything you can do to make it easier for them? I'm not saying change everything about it. There is an element of the fact that we do need to understand the fact that Christmas is for everyone. So I completely understand that, but making the allowance of allowing somebody to open their gifts slightly away, or having different packaging for them, or eating something different on Christmas Day, they're all traditions that are really forced on everybody. Understand the fact that we can have different traditions and everybody's different, and that's the beauty of Christmas, is that it is meant to be that everybody enjoys it, not that people are forced into enjoying it, because some of us can't force ourselves into enjoying something. If we really don't like it, there can be some really, really, really hard things to overcome hurdle wise when it comes to sensory issues and things like that. So just remember that what you're asking of an autistic person sometimes is extremely difficult when it comes to Christmas. And some allowances, some adjustments, it's a nice thing to do for somebody in a time of year that is all about everybody. And we all want to be included. Everybody wants to feel included, not like they're being forced into doing something that everybody else enjoys and you don't. It's a really horrible feeling to feel like you don't enjoy what everybody else does. And you don't want to make people feel like that they're a disappointment to you because they don't know how to open a present, or they don't really want to open a present, or they don't want to eat the food that you want to eat. They're not a disappointment to you, and I'm sure you don't feel that way about it. It's just the way it can sometimes come across. So just remember that person's a person. You know that. Obviously, you know that you love the person, but sometimes Christmas can carry us away into thinking a different way than we usually do, and wanting to force tradition on people and force the way we've always done it. Just speak to your autistic person like they're an animal, like they're your pet, your loved one that is autistic, and see whether they really are enjoying it. Because only recently I've told my family that there are certain elements of Christmas that I really don't enjoy, but certain bits that I really do enjoy. There's some that I can deal with and some that I really can't deal with, and it's been a really positive experience. They're quite happy to change traditions. So thank you very much. As always, comment what your naughty and nice lists are. What do you like about Christmas? What do you really hate about it? What is in the middle ground of what you can deal with? As always, like I say, comments, but any subscribers would be fantastic, because the more subscribers I have, the more that my videos go out to other people. And obviously would like as many people as possible to see these videos. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thank you. Merry Christmas!